Hello everyone, welcome to Me Life Studies. In this video, we are going to discuss one more data analysis case study as part of data analyst interview preparation. We had already solved one case study before. I hope you have gone through. If not, I have mentioned that link in the description box. The frequency of asking these type of case studies has been increasing in data analyst interviews to check whether a candidate is capable enough or not, or a candidate is come up with solutions to solve different problems or not. In this case study, I have used sales information and I have created and inserted data into sales information. If I executed this one, you can see here. And I have mentioned create and insert statements in the description box. You can find from there. Now we need to analyze this data as a candidate. We need to analyze this data, right? Now, if you observe here, we have of total 20 records. This is just a small case study, but in real world projects, you will be having 1 lakh data or 1 million data, right? So the same concept that you are applying here will be applicable for even it is how many data, how many records will be there, it will be applicable, but with the same columns. Okay, now we are going to start analyzing this data. Okay, now first we will write some insights and then we'll start writing SQL queries to those particular insights to retrieve data. Okay, now tell me, this is the sales information having different columns that you can see here: transaction ID, date of transaction, customer ID, customer name, product ID, quantity, sales amount, sales ID, and store name. So this is store ID and store name, right? Now, if you observe here, this is the sales information we have. Now we need to understand how many transactions are there, right? What's the date in between, I mean time interval or date in between, right? And then how many customers are there, and how many products are there, how many products are purchased by different customer, how many customers are purchasing how many products, and what is the quantity of purchases, right, by each customer, what is the sales amount, what is the sales amount for each product, what is the sales amount purchased by each customer, what is the sales amount for each store ID or store name. Likewise, we are going to find many insights, right? We are going to find all insights by using analytical functions, right? Analytical functions, or we can say aggregate functions. But there is a difference between aggregate function and analytical functions. Now, if you see here, we are going to find the count of transaction, that is aggregate function. Now, if you see here, the sum of sales amount, that is aggregate function. But what's the difference? If you use aggregate function, it will be returning a value by you are initially collecting a different number of values and it will be returning a single value. Here also you will be having 20, and I mean you are going to count all these things and finally you are returning 20, but that is the single scalar value in case of aggregate functions. Similarly, in analytical functions, we can call these analytical functions or window functions. In case of window function, you will be getting the same value, but it will be returning to each record. In somehow, that value will be relation with this current row will be having relation with remaining all records. Okay, that is the difference between we will be using analytical functions. Okay, in case one more thing, in case of window functions, we don't lose any data. That is the biggest advantage of using analytical function rather aggregate functions. Now we are going to use all these things. Okay, now we'll start writing what are the insights that we can find it. Now it starts with how many transactions are there, that is number of transactions. First we need to find number of transaction, and then we'll find number of transaction by each customer, right? Number of transactions by each customer. Okay, now for each transaction represents each purchase, right? So each customer done how many transactions. Now will tell us like how many customers are going for each store ID, right? Or else you can say number of transactions for each number of transactions for each store ID, right? Each store and also each store and each store and customers, for each customer using how many transactions for each store. Okay, so you have to use customer also. Now another one, what is the range of transaction dates? I mean, the starting date and ending date of these details. Okay, starting and ending date of transactions, transaction details. Now we can find how many customers are there, right? How many customers are there? See, this is just a small data, but this information are whatever insights that you are going to find out. This will be used suitable for even it is 1 lakh data or 1 billion data, as in your real world projects. Okay, how many customers are there? Next, how many products are there, right? Next, what we can find? The total quantity sold by customers, na? Total quantity sold by each store name and purchased by customers, right? Total quantity of products. Okay, I mean, if you see here, this product purchased by this Mahendra, how many products he had purchased? Two times, right? Quantity is two purchases. This product is sold, purchased two times. That is quantity two. Likewise, you are going to find total quantity of products. Now, you are also going to find the total quantity of products purchased by uh, each customer, and each customer first we'll find, and then we'll find each customer and product. Okay, next we'll find total quantity of products purchased by each customer. Next we'll find each customer and each customer particular products, how many quantity he has purchased. Okay, next we'll write products of total quantity, right? Next, what we can, likewise we can find total sales amount for each product ID, right? Total sales amount for each product. Okay, similarly you can find total sales amount for each, this is the amount, is purchase amount by each customer ID, right? Each customer, how many sales, how many amount that he has purchased. Okay, we use by each customer. Each customer, how the sales amount, right? And it comes as purchase amount, right? For each customer. Then for each store ID we find it, no? So we need to find for each store ID what is the total amount, right? That is, for each store, find total sales amount. Okay, and also we can find for each store total quantity, right? Quantity of selling products. Also we can find for each store ID how many products are sold out, right? For each store we'll write as another one, right? How many products are sold out by each store. Okay, now what else we can find it? For each store you are going to find all these things, right? For each customer you are going to find, what is the quantity, what is the sales amount, all these things we find it. Now we are going to start writing SQL queries for all this to extract data for this all insights. Clear? Now we'll start solving this one. Number of transactions and number of transactions done by each customer. Now tell me how many transactions are there? There are 20 transactions. If this is a small data, then by looking at this number, you can directly find, or you can directly say that it is 20. But if you have 1 million records, then how can you find it? You cannot go step by step, right? Row by row. You cannot calculate, right? So you have to use aggregate function as count of transactions, right? And you should remember this transaction is a primary key. So it should not be null and it should not be duplicate. Okay. So that we will be counting select count of transaction ID from sales underscore info. Now if I execute this one, you can see here we have total number of transactions, that is, we'll refer this as total transactions. Okay. If I executed this one, you can see here total transactions, how many? 20 transactions. Now we need to find number of transactions, right? We'll write this as out. Okay, now we found number of transactions and we need to find number of transactions done by each customer, right? So we need to use here customer ID. Okay, or if you want customer name also, then we need to use customer name. Okay, now before that we need to see what are those columns, customer ID and customer name, right? So we should use customer ID and customer name. Okay, now you are going to find for each customer ID how many transactions are done. Okay, now you should use group by, right? So as and when if you are using columns other than aggregate function, you have to group by, right? Otherwise it will be returning some errors. So you need to use Group by what? Customer ID and customer name, right? Now, if we executed this one, you can see here for each customer ID are the same name, right? So you will be having for each customer how many transactions are done, right? These are total transactions done by each customer. Okay, all are doing four transactions each. Okay, this is the first insight that you observe. Now we'll solve second one, that is number of transactions for each store and customer, right? Now we'll see the table. You can see here we have number of stores, right? First we need to find how many stores are there first. Let's see. Select similarly we need to use count of store ID from sales info. If you executed this one, you will find number of stores as number of, you should not keep any spaces, so you have to use underscore, number of stores. If you executed this one, you can see here 20, but this is not the actual one, right? Because of these are 20 transactions, but this store ID repeating na, so you have to use here distinct, so that you will get how many stores are there. You can see here that is total of 3 stores. Now we need to find number of transactions for each store. Okay, now we need to use select store id comma count of transactions, right? Transactions is the primary key, so there is no duplicate. Transaction id from sales info, you have to use group by store id, right? Now if you executed this one, you can see here for each store id you are going to find the number of transactions. Okay, now I'm returning this as number of transactions. Okay, if I executed this one, you can see here for each for each store ID you are getting number of transaction. If you want to have store name, then you should use store name. Then you have to use here in group by store name, right? Now if I executed this one, you can see for each store ID and store name you will be getting number of transaction, right? Now tell me, in each store and these we have how many customers are there? There are different number of customers are there, right? So the next question is, see, number of transactions done by each store, I mean in each store, and then number of transactions done by customer in each store. Okay, we have three questions here. This is first we solved number of stores. We already solved number of transactions, that is 20 transactions there, and number of stores are 3. Now we are finding number of transactions for each store id, I mean each store. Now we are going to find out for each store id, a customer, how many customers are going to do how many transactions. For each customer is going to do some transactions, right? For each store id, how many transactions done by each customer. Now to find that, we have to use here customer id, and customer name. Okay, now you are adding these two columns. This represents, without this it is number of transactions for each store id, right? Now you are going to do number of transactions done by customer in each store and by each customer id. Okay, now you have to use here in group by customer id and customer name. Okay, now if I executed this one, what is their transaction id? There could be something name mismatch, right? So we'll see the name transaction id, transaction. So here we are missing comma, right? So that's why it is returning error. Okay, now if I executed this one, you can see here for each store, you can see its store name. These all are different customers, right? So each customer are doing how many transactions in each store. See, these are highest transactions by Rohit and Mahendra in different stores. That is store A. In store A, we have Rohit and Mahendra are done 2 transactions. Similarly, you are finding each customer are doing how many transactions in each store. Okay, I hope you understand this one. Next insight is that starting and ending dates of transaction. See, whenever in e-commerce or any sales department, we need to know what is the starting date and ending dates of a particular table or data is given, right? So we need to know what is the starting and ending date of transactions. Now we'll see Starting date in the sense is it is the minimum one, right? So you have to use minimum of date, comma, ending date represents maximum of date. Okay, as ending date of transaction. Here also same thing, you can use starting, right? Now we'll write it as starting date of transaction, ending date of transactions from sales info. Okay, now if I executed this one, you can see here this is the starting date and this is the ending date. I mean, this is the January 1st 2023 and this is January 20th 2023. These are the dates, right? I hope you have observed here. See, we have starting transaction date on January 1st 2023 and ending transaction is January 1st, sorry, January 20th 2023. Okay, now we'll see another one. How many customers are there? That we have already find it now. That is count of customer ID. You will easily get customer ID, count of customer ID from sales info. Now if you executed this one, you will get 20. You are getting 20, right? But actually there is no 20 customers are there. 20 transactions are there. These are done by different customers in multiple times. Na? So you have to use here a single customer can purchase different days, right? So you have to use distinct customer. Now if you use here, you can see here number of customers are there. How many? 5 customers are there. Okay, as number of customers. Okay, if you execute, you can see here number of customers 5. Now tell me who are those customers. Now I need to return those all names. Now select customer name from sales info. Okay, now if I executed this one, you will get all names, I mean with duplications also. You can see Mahendra, Mahendra, Mahendra. So to avoid that, you have to use here distinct. Okay, now if we executed this one, you can see here we have total of, if I executed these two, you can see here total number of customers are there 5 and those names are these ones, right? Now tell me, we'll move forward, that is how many products are there. Okay, now if you observe this table, if you observe here, you can see here these are customer ID and their respective customer names, and we found how many customers are there. Now you need to see here how many products are there, P1, P2, P3, like these. There are different number of products are there, right? So these products are going to purchase by these customers again and again. So we need to know how many products are there. Select count of products, product ID from sales info. Now tell me, this will return 20, right? 20. But actually it is not 20. I hope you understand. 20 transactions, I mean 20 transactions done by customers. But that doesn't mean 20 products, right? So you have to use here distinct. Now if you see here, we have 3 products are there, right? Now tell me, 3 products are coming and 3 products are purchased by different customers how many times? Right, or we need to know for each product sold how many times, right? So for that I need to use here product ID comma count of this one, and then I have to use group by product ID, right? Okay, now if I executed this one, each product ID sold how many times, right? So you have to use here normal count. You can see here there are 20 times customers are purchased. How many times? This product 1 purchased 7 times, this product 2 purchased 7 times, this product 3 purchased 6 times. Okay, I hope you are getting it. Now we'll see the next one, next insight, that is total quantity of products. If you see here total quantity of products comma total quantity of products purchased by each customer. If I executed this one, we need to know total quantity, right? Total quantity of products. See, these two represents this product 1 2 times. And I mean, this Mahindra purchased this product P1 2 times. 2 quantity. Number of quantity, I mean, not 2 times, 2 products he has purchased, that is P1 and P1. Okay. Likewise, you can see here, Mahi purchased P2 1 time. Okay. Next, Ananya purchased this one at three products, I mean the same products, three, he purchased three, right? Likewise this product two. Likewise you can see here we need to find the total quantity of products. Okay, now we need to solve sum up of all these things now. Just finding total quantity, select sum of quantity from sales info. If I executed this one, you can see here total of 37, right? Now we need to find for each product id how many quantity are purchased by each customers, right? So you have to use product id. Okay, now we need to use group by. If I executed this one, you can see here for each product ID, how many purchases are happened, right? That is 37. Na? P1, I mean this product one purchased 12 products are purchased by different customers. Okay, this P2 12 times. Now this one 13 times. So total of 37 only, right? Okay, now you can see here total quantity of products we found, that is 37. Total quantity of products purchased by each customer, right? Now we need to find this total quantity by each customer. Okay, select customer id comma sum of quantity from sales info group by each customer id, right? So you have to use customer id. If you executed this one, you can see here these are the 5 customers we have. Now total quantity has to be 37 only. If you add all these things, you can see here 16, 23, 28 and 37 only, right? These customers are going to purchase this quantity of products. Now tell me another insight is we need to find for each customer and products of total quantity. Now we need to add one more column as product id, right? Each customer is going to purchase different products, how many quantity, right? So you have to use product id comma total of quantity. Now you need to use here product id. This means each customer is going to purchase different products, how many quantity. Okay, now you are going to find each customer is going to uh, purchase different products how many times. Okay, this is number of times, or you can say quantity, total quantity. Okay, now if you execute this one, you can see here you will be getting each customer, each I mean product, how many times that he purchased. Now if you add all these things, you will get 37 only, right? I hope you are getting it. Now if you see here the next insight, total sales amount for each product. Now if you see the table, you can see here we need to find now total sales amount for each product. See, this is the total amount, sales amount, right? Now we'll start solving total sales amount first, and then we'll solve total sales amount for each product id. Okay, if we solve this one, select sum of sales amount, right, from sales info. If you executed this one, you can see here this is the total sales amount for all customers, all stores, right? So you need to find all products also. Now we need to find for each product id what is the total sales amount, right? Product id, what is the total sales amount? So you have to use here group by product id, right? Now tell me for each product id you are going to find what is the total sales amount. You can see here, right? Okay, I hope you are understanding. Even though if you add this one, I mean these values, you will be getting the same value, right? That is this one. You can see if you sum it up, you can see what is the value, 1300, 22 and this one 45, right? Total of 4600, right? You can see it, right? 4600 for each product id. Then you can use here, that is each product id you are going to find the total sales amount, total sale amount. Okay, now if I executed this one, you can see here you're getting it. Okay, now we'll start solving second one, next one. Total sales amount for each customer. Okay, this is the total sales amount for each product id, right? Now in place of product id, I'm just copying it and pasting here. In place of product id, we are going to use customer id. Okay, if you want customer name also, you can use customer name. Okay, then you have to use here customer id and customer name. Okay, now if I executed this one, you can see here you are going to get the total sales amount for each customer, right? You can see here. Anyway, this amount could be 4,600 only, right? If you add all these things, 1,500, 900, 2,400, this is 2,900, 3,600, 4,400, and then 4,480, 130, 130, and this one 200, right? 4,400 plus 200, how much? Total of 4,600 only, right? You can see all these values. Okay, you can see here each customer ID is going to purchase different items for this amount, total amount of this one. Okay, now to find out, I'm adding some more insights, like you can find who is the highest purchased, right? We need to find the customer who is purchasing highest amount, purchasing for more sales, right? Sales amount, that is, who is he? That is Mahendra. He is purchasing for highest amount, that is sales amount of 1,540. Likewise, we can add many insights. Okay, next one. For each store, find total sales amount for each store, total quantity of selling products, right? Now we need to find same thing for store na. So we will use, in place of product ID, we will use store ID. Okay, you have to group by store ID. You can see here total sales amount. This is the sales amount only for each store ID. Each store ID, this could be 4,600 only. You can see here 3,000, 4,000, and then 4,500, and then this 50 and 50. Total of 4,600 only, right? So each store ID, what is the amount? Okay. Now you can see for each store total quantity of selling products, right? Now we need to find for each store ID count of, sorry, we need to use sum of, right? Sum of quantity for each store, right? So you have to use a total quantity from sales info. We have to group by store ID, right? Okay, this means you are going to add up all quantity of sales for products for each store ID, right? Each store ID, how many quantity has sold, right? That is 37 only. 13, 24, and then 37 only, right? Total of 37. Okay, 37 quantity. Now you can see here how many products are sold out by each store, right? Now we have different products are there, right? And different products are, same products will be selling in different stores, right? So we are going to find how many products are there. See, select count of product ID from sales info. These are total products. These products are same products, can be sold out in different stores, right? So you have to use here store ID comma count of this one. You are finding in each store ID how many products are selling. Do by store ID, right? If you execute this one, you can see here this one, right? I mean, in each store, how many products are selling. This could be same products also, right? Now here number of products. Actually, we have three products, but in case of three also, we are going to have same products are sold out in this one, right? It could be same products like P1, P1, P2, P2. Likewise, 7 products are sold out from this store ID. Okay. I hope you're understanding all these things. Similarly, we can find the average sales, average quantity of each store, or average amount for each customer ID. Likewise, you can find many insights from this data, right? Likewise, when you are going to explain all insights to interviewer, they are going to understand, oh, these are the things that are going to happen. So we need to do like this. So you're going to do all data analysis like this. Similarly, you can do it for real world projects also. Okay, there is one more thing, that is window functions are there, right? There we will be using overclass for after aggregate functions. Therefore, you will be getting number of windows wise. Okay, I hope you are understanding all this analysis part. If I add analytical window functions, that will, the length of video will be extended to, right? So that's why I'm just stopping here. I hope you are getting all these things, and thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and share if this video is helpful for you. Thank you.